That's right. I am shocked that I'm actually going to say what I'm about to say about Last of Us Season 2 so far. The overall experience anyway, so with the first season, if we're looking at the first game and the first season, they're telling the same basic story. I prefer the story told in the game, or the execution in the game, for sure. What I'm shocked about is in the second season, I think I prefer the show so far. I mean, we're 3 episodes in, but other than just preferring Ellie in the game, that's the only thing so far that's really, I think, that's the only thing I think where the game has an edge. And I don't think that's going to change, but that's only one thing. So overall, and it's not like Ellie in the show's bad. She's different. She's a little different in a number of ways. Nothing like critical, but it's just if I'm going to prefer, I don't know. I prefer Ellie and Joel, really, in the game versions in general. In both. But the way the story is being told here, I think it works better. I think that Joel's death, as much as I don't love that, you're not supposed to love it. I mean, obviously. But I think the way they set it up makes more sense. I think ultimately the way the decision to not go with Ellie's plan is more interesting with the whole town hall, and I like having Seth kind of be on her side for that. That's a cool little touch to get into like how complicated things are really. You know, someone could do something bad in one instance, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they are bad to the core, right? I think us as human beings, we do that to ourselves more often than not, and to each other, where like someone does something bad and they're just irredeemable. This is who they are. This is how they were born. There's nothing that can be done. And most of the time, I'm not saying there are no exceptions, but most of the time that isn't true. That level of complexity, not that it's all that deep, it's just one step below the surface, is enough to bring enough complexity that, you know, I think it serves the overall story of this whole cycle of violence thing that's about to happen much better. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else they choose to do, because in every instance, whether I liked what was in the game or not, and what they were trying to do there, or what they did, what they're trying to do and what they did in the game are arguably a little bit different, right? And the show, it could be that, but I think the show is hewing closer to the aspect, at least that I like, about the story, which is the message of the cycle of violence and trying to not reduce each other to evil, good evil, you know, not that there isn't any of that, but you know, it can't be the case that that people are completely irredeemable once they've done something awful, right? People don't always want to be redeemed or seek it, so that's a whole other situation, and of course that is going to come into play in this show. So I'm very interested, but I'm shocked that that so far they haven't really changed the story, but I'm enjoying this telling of it better. That's the whole thing. And I'm going to keep it short because that's just one episode. I'm sure there'll be something. You know, people are complaining about various things. You know, most of their complaints are not important to me in this show. So that's where I'm at. Next week I will see if I'm still there. It'll be less shocking, at least. Obviously, I'm very shocked. See ya.